to the third episode of Behind the Brush podcast. I'm Sofia.
And I'm Paiton.
And we are your hosts.
Last episode, we talked about the truth and terrors of beauty service policies and common things you might find in one.
Then we got into our segment, Confessions of a Nail Tech, which we did the very first time. And if you still want to submit to us any stories of your personal experiences, you can in the comments and on our website.
Yes. And before we jump into today's episode, let's see what our nails of the day are.
My favorite. You go first. Boom. Back with the stiletto. Back with the stiletto.
Big old stilettos.
Hey.
We did more simple. Actually, I did nothing because I don't know what design I want to do yet. So we're kind of just riding the wave.
Yeah,
until we
nail
figure it
design
out.
to be determined.
Yes.
And I'm still stilettoing. And I have pastel yellow nails, and you had pastel yellow nails last time too. And we're doing spring floral vibes.
It's giving.
With my favorite little fake croc print.
Yes. I always love when you do the croc print, honestly.
It's my favorite.
Like, I feel like
so
bling
cute.
and croc print that's you.
Like, I'm about to do a real croc print again after this. Watch.
Yes.
Okay, so we get to show off our nails to you guys here on our show, which is great. And sharing and talking about small businesses is probably one of the biggest ways to promote and have marketing as part of your business. Word of mouth, of course, and a new form of beauty marketing is the use of brand ambassadors and models.
Yes.
And that's going to be the topic of today's episode.
Yes. So, at the start of your nail journey, have you ever had or wanted brand ambassadors or a model?
Not as much of brand ambassadors. I've never had a brand ambassador before, but definitely within the first year of me starting to do nails, the majority of the sets I was doing was models. Even if I wasn't explicitly promoting for models, it was definitely understood of you're not paying me. You don't have to pay me, or it's something just so little, $20, $25.
Right.
Or you're just not paying me at all, and you're just going to do this for me. But definitely in the beginning, I was doing modeling more.
Word.
What about you?
I think during the beginning of mine, it was more I was really trying to do the brand ambassador thing. And I was just, because in the beginning for me, I feel like everything you do when it comes to nails is model work.
Yeah.
Because you're charging $20 to do somebody's nails. So
your skill level is just where it's at, and you gotta work through that. It just be rough, but you gotta work through it.
It's rough, but those are your models. So I thought, brand ambassadors was the best way for me to try to get my name out there, get my work out there. Yeah. But I realized as a beginner, it's kind of pointless to have a brand ambassador just because it's so much that you really have to think about and write out what you explicitly want, and then you're kind of thinking are they trying to take advantage of me because I'm a beginner?
Yeah,
literally getting your nails for free at this point.
Dirt cheap,
right? So it's you kind of want to be structured first before you think about brand ambassadors.
Yeah, because how long would you say that you did your brand ambassadors for?
It only lasted, because I'll say how long it lasted. It lasted 3 months, maybe 4 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and at the time, I was really thinking I want brand ambassadors for life. I want these people to be my
supporting you.
Right. Yeah. Promotional boxes. I was thinking ahead.
Yeah. You would think dreaming big about it.
Right.
Which is not bad.
Right. But it's when I did that, I kind of put this false hope in my head or this false expectations of what I should get, and then also social media showing how their brand ambassadors looked. I felt I want mine to look just like that.
Got you.
So it wasn't coming from a logical place. It was coming from a Disney Princess Land, this is what I want place.
Got you. It's that thought is there, but it's just kind of maybe not the place that you are at yet to do that.
Yes.
So what do you feel is the difference between them? Important to distinguish what the difference between them is?
So I would say it definitely depends on the industry you're in or the service that you're providing when it comes to models and brand ambassadors.
Because we have nail techs, hairstylists, makeup artists, lash techs,
estheticians.
Any sort of beauty service, I feel where that's why beauty services are so similar, because there's a lot of them where you are going to be bad for a long time and you can't get
Yes.
around that. So you have to have people who are like very like understanding and generous to you to
Mm-hmm.
right to let you do this because you're it's
Yes.
just gonna like you need to try it. That's the part that it is like I need to do it on a real person.
Yes. Like you need that physical experience.
Yeah, but it's like you're gonna definitely be bad in the beginning, and that's one of the
Yes.
ones.
Yes. And like the difference between like the brand ambassador and the models is that modeling, you kind of want to expand your portfolio. Like when I said, like when we're beginners, everybody we take is our model. So it's not like you're
Yeah.
asking somebody to promote your work for a discounted service. It's
Yeah.
more like you have something you want to practice and you really want to get that on your page to say, yes, I can now confidently say I can do this. Like,
Type of style
right,
specifically.
right. Whereas brand ambassadors is like you're having that mutual partnership. Like I'm giving you a discount to promote my work. I'm
Yeah.
giving you like certain perks to promote my work. So if I do
Yes.
your nails, you come in, we do a specific set that I want you to promote. You go home, you promote that,
Yes.
and it's almost like an exchange of services, really.
Okay. Yeah, definitely agree because I feel like the main difference is that personal endorsement versus like hiring someone.
Mm-hmm.
And hiring a model is different from having that relationship, like you said in the beginning, with someone and you're trying to kind of build something between the two of you and
Right.
you're in order to benefit your brand
Mm-hmm.
versus hiring someone to be your model or having that agreement that there's no payment involved as long as they can fulfill like the expectations that you put out about what you want to do, how
Mm-hmm.
much time you need, content, and as long as they can agree with those things, it's like you kind of like, all right, so I'm going to hire
Right.
you kind of as this thing versus you want them to personally endorse you. There might but not
Yes.
be any expectation of that.
Mm-hmm.
And also just how you said there's different levels to like what industry you're in and what that can mean. Because for hairstylists, when you have a model, and let's say you just need a model for a hair class, all they're doing is sitting there in the chair and being your model.
Right.
But they're not expected to go home and endorse you after. If you pay
Exactly.
them to do that, then that's your agreement. And they low
Exactly.
key then become like a brand ambassador.
Mm-hmm.
That's you gotta know what those differences are for you and what you want.
Correct. Correct. Um, they also could have like um, I don't know if you mentioned this, but products versus services.
Yeah.
So the way products are brand ambassadored by, you
Like
send,
sponsored.
right, sponsored by, you send them, a little PR package that you want them to promote.
Yes.
And, if they've used your brand before and you trust them, they go ahead and they talk about your products.
Yeah.
Whereas on the service end, it's more like, I do your nails, a certain set of nails that I, want to promote. I do your nails and I expect you to go home and, talk about my nails, share it on your story, because I don't think anybody's ever gone as far as, posting. I don't know if people like if that's what you
Like
want your
for brand
agreement.
ambassadors.
Yeah, like if that's
Oh,
what you want your agreement, like for nails, because I know
yeah.
it's probably hard to just have a post about nails if you
Yeah.
have a certain kind of aesthetic. But in other businesses, you post your hair, like I'm doing your hair for vacation.
Yeah. While you're on your
Tag your
vacation.
hair,
Yeah.
talk about how like sturdy it is,
Yeah.
blase blase blase. So definitely when it comes the levels, different industries,
Yes.
different kinds of expectations, and then you have product based sponsorships, whereas you have service based sponsorships or brand
Yeah.
ambassadors.
Because I feel like it's also important to highlight how whether like if you're a brand ambassador, the majority of like the expectation is that your feedback is going to be positive.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that so you really have to be aligned in your relationship and as the brand ambassador how much can you confidently like support this because they're not asking you to go out and be neutral or honest in a certain degree to a certain degree.
Right.
You're mostly looking for someone who's going to be positive. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how the lines can get crossed of like how in the new social media age where anyone can be an influencer, if you get sent a PR package, if you are sponsoring this product, it's going to be a positive review. But if you're getting this sent to you unsolicited, you have the opportunity to be honest then to your audience about,
Right.
okay, I'm going to use this because it was sent to me. If it's good, I'm going to let you know if it's good. If it's bad, I'm going to let you know otherwise. But for a brand ambassador, if you're going to be in this partnership with someone, I feel like it has to be more on the positive end where you can
Yes.
confidently support this person. You're not asking to be neutral about the service. You're not just getting a service
Right.
or anything just to be a walking billboard. Like, you have to kind of outwardly be positive about it, and that's where the lines can sometimes get blurred.
Right.
Because like how we were saying with models, maybe not the same expectations of them to endorse you. You just need to work on your portfolio. But brand ambassadors are more likely to be someone that's going to positively support you.
Yes. Yes. And it's definitely more structured
Yeah, the
compared
structure
to,
to it.
yeah.
So, with all those points considered, when looking for models, specifically models, we're going to share with you guys some tips that we think are good on what to look for in your model, how to attract the right person, and how to get results that you're looking for specifically.
Right.
So, starting off with what your goals are. Basic, like, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve by hiring this person? It can be as simple as building your portfolio, like we've been saying, which
Yeah.
is usually the majority reason why.
And like when you're looking for people, you don't want to look for people that aren't what you're trying to push forward on your page. Like if you're looking for more simple, just French tippy kind
Yes.
of, you
French
don't want to
tippy.
go French tippy, high heels on
Oh,
my
my
tippies.
tippies.
But like you don't want to go to someone that's a extra extra long bad baddie, nail baddie, and be like, oh, I want you to try these short French
Yeah.
for my pay. Like they're not gonna want that. So you're gonna have to look for people that are within your reach,
Yeah, it's
within your
kind of like,
niche.
still, let's give the girls what they want, right? Like
Right.
if we're vibing on the same thing, then let's do that. You
That
got to
part.
know your person sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Another portion that a lot of people are, have split decisions on are, do you give models these sets for free or do you, give them a discount?
I heavily think that if you're starting off, I think if you've been on your nail journey a year or less, you should definitely be working for free sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's a natural part of the process.
It's a sacrifice you have to take.
I also think that not charging anything takes a lot of pressure off,
Yeah.
because I think when you're doing this work and this is your personal art on there, I feel like it, at least for me, it puts like that pressure on that, like, you want them to get their money's worth per se. Even if it's a
Yeah.
small amount of money, it's still like, wow, they're gonna like pay me for this. You want to make sure that like everything's
Mm-hmm.
boom 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 right. But if you know that there's no payment involved and they're willing to do this for you or for free, whether it's someone you know or not, I think it does take like that pressure off. So I think if you're in your nail journey like a year or less, be open to it.
Yes.
You get a lot of you'll get a lot of practicing in that way, and it takes that pressure off you to feel like you have all these paying customers and they're not lasting once they tell you the nails are popping off, because that's a natural part of that
Yeah.
learning process.
And you don't want to get put in those situations where they're like, I paid you and these nails aren't even good. Like,
Exactly.
it's best that you kind of like avoid those situations because they can be very traumatizing and you don't want to feel so bad that you just want to stop doing
Yeah, it
nails
definitely can be
completely.
discouraging that way when it's just like constant.
The requirements are mainly these are the requirements that are mainly for models and
Yes.
like looking for models and wanting to expand your portfolio. Using brand ambassadors is a slightly different type of marketing strategy, and here's why. Ambassadors focus more on the partnership between client and nail tech.
Yeah.
These two parties are going to be gaining something from this partnership.
Yeah.
And there are different pros and cons to this strategy, where a big pro would be the mutual gain for both parties. The nail tech gets the word of mouth and the promotion
Yeah.
of, what they want to put out there as their, walking billboard per se.
Yes.
And the client gets different perks, maybe it'd be a discounted set or you bring on three people, some type of incentive to
Yes.
where they get their money's worth of promoting your work.
Yes. Definitely. that would be like the best case scenario, right? And especially when you're trying to determine who that is, which is why we were giving you guys our suggestions on things to keep in mind when shopping around for your model, is that boost in credibility that you're really trying
Mm-hmm.
to get.
Yeah.
Because based on who this person is that's endorsing you, the way that your audience and your existing customers or future customers will perceive you
Mm-hmm.
will be better.
Yeah.
If this person is someone that's trustworthy and honest, and open, like to their online audience per se,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to speak highly on you if they're the person that's endorsing you, if
Yeah.
they have a good social reputation per se. And that's could be something that you would want to consider when looking for your model.
Yes.
However, just within your own relationship, though, you can determine that, yeah, like I trust this person and what they say about me, other people will value
Mm-hmm.
what they say about you, which brings us into a lot of the common cons, no pun intended, that can come based on who is this person that you're choosing. And
Exactly.
the big battle is between, do I build the relationship between a stranger and someone that's been a client of mine or someone that you've met through social media, or should I tap into my network of people, being your friends and your family and acquaintances, because you
Mm-hmm.
already have that background relationship and you're thinking, oh, yeah, of course they'll be willing to do this for me. So that's going
Yeah.
to lead us into some of the cons we're going to talk about.
Yes. And that conflict that she just said, we could break that down. When you're working with people that, are your inner circle, the people that you think, would be happy to, oh, just promote my stuff for you and I'll give you
Yeah.
these nails for free. That can be very tricky because there's no structured contract in there. There's nothing saying that, you know, I explicitly want you to market for me, because then you fall into these very bad practices. It's like, I'm just we spoke about it a while ago
Yeah.
and I'm just expecting you to do it. And then
No
later,
follow up.
right, no follow up. Later down the line, it's like, oh, I feel like you're not posting my work, as much.
Mm-hmm.
And then they might feel like, oh, well, you're now charging me, because what if down the line you feel like it's now necessary to charge?
Yeah.
So definitely you start to build these bad practices. There's a whole lot of abandoned rules. And then you guys just kind of don't stay professional because, that's someone.
Because then it gets personal after
Right.
that. When you don't feel like you're getting what you want, then you're like upset, right? That's what
Right.
ends up happening. You get upset and you're taking it personal.
Mm-hmm.
And in that instance where it's someone that's your friend, it's disappointing on
Right. It's
top of
like,
that.
oh, I didn't expect this from you. And it's like, it's not personal. It's
Yeah.
like, this is a business decision.
Because we've talked about it separately, how no one takes your business as serious as you do.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't expect people to, but you have to set up those boundaries and like
Yeah.
those expectations. But no one's going to take your business as seriously as you do. And you just want to hope that the person that you're trusting with this takes it serious to them. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
say no one will take it as serious as you, but to them it's also important.
Right.
Because having a brand ambassador is temporary. You can't always expect someone, how you were saying, how this was going to be like such a dream and like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they're going to like stick with me forever and we're going to be able to grow together.
Mm-hmm.
People will come and go and their personal life circumstances will change. Maybe suddenly they got a new job, they can't get the 3XL
Right.
nails anymore. Now their circumstance is different from how it started off,
Mm-hmm.
which is why it's really important to stay open and flexible and willing to go with the flow with people, because just because you guys don't align anymore now
Right.
doesn't mean you never did, and you want to maintain those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really disappointing sometimes to fall out with people that you were cool with or clients, or you don't see someone as much as you thought that you would.
Mm-hmm.
But maintaining those relationships still beneficial though to you. So be willing to change and go with the flow. And if you are going to hire a brand ambassador, having those expectations on, the time commitment, things
Right.
like that, just to keep everybody like on the same page
Yeah.
for sure.
So, with all that being said, we really want to hear from you guys.
Always.
Like, there's a question that we want to leave with you, which is, have you ever wanted to employ a brand ambassador or a model? Let us know what you think in the comments.
So these are just some of the things that I wish like we both knew when we were first starting out. This is not something like a lot of these conversations aren't things that people will tell you in the beginning or even at all. You just have to discover these things exist by seeing other people do them, which brings us to our next segment of today's show, which is going to be Wish
Wish
I
I
May,
may,
Wish
wish
I
I
Might.
might. Today's segment will consist of letting you guys into some advice we wish we had or we wish we knew when we were starting our nail tech journeys, starting with things I wish I knew.
Yes.
So I wish I knew more about sales and how to properly, well, I'll say promotions,
Yeah.
and how to like properly implement different different promotions. And I feel like trying to do one every time you're doing like, oh, this Saturday I got special self shorty Saturday, or
Yeah.
and doing that every time, I feel like that leads to bad practice and picking up the wrong kinds of
It's
clients.
like it's like too frequent almost.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I'm only gonna go to that girl because I know she's cheap. She always
Yeah.
running some kind of promotion.
Yeah, or someone that just books you on the sales.
Right. So I feel like I wish I knew that in the beginning because I was heavy on like the promotions,
Yeah.
like, oh, come in for $55 sets or $35 sets. And I would do it constantly because I
Yeah.
thought that's what would make my clientele grow.
To try to attract people.
Right.
Right, but it's that balance of like how much. Yeah, definitely. I wish I knew that it's okay to be honest about your skill level to people.
Yeah.
Exactly how we were talking about models and how if you're a beginner, models is really going to be something to help you because those people understand where your skill level is at, but trying
Right.
to overpromise something to someone is always going to be disappointing. And I think there's actually a power in knowing where your skills at and like trusting yourself with that and just knowing that this is where I'm at right now and I need to practice X, Y, and Z and let me just focus on that.
Yeah.
And it's okay to tell people, yeah, I'm still taking 3.5 hours, 4 hours, or telling people, hey, this is the only kind of nails I do,
Yeah.
so that way they can have good expectations and so that way you can just be upfront and again take that pressure off yourself to have to deliver
Yeah.
something that you're not able to, but that it's okay in the beginning if you're not as good, but you just have to keep pushing through that though.
Yes. Don't sabotage yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So now that we're both years into like
Journey.
our nail journey, what's something that you appreciate now?
I definitely appreciate the aspect of the nail art
Yes.
portion of doing nails and being able to like put little mini canvases on
Yeah.
nails. And I almost get a sense of like being proud, like
Yeah,
that I'm
definitely.
actually able to do this. And I think I appreciate, because before I really was not thinking of, oh, I can draw a face on a nail. Like I was just literally like French tip marble ombre. But now I feel like I appreciate the whole art style of doing
Yeah.
nails in itself.
Like you've like expanded into that, like there's more to it, like you discovered that there's more
Yeah.
to it. Yeah, that's definitely one because that also goes into like your skill level thing of what
Yeah.
I was just talking about. Now you know where your skills at and that's like really
Exactly.
cool for yourself.
Yeah. So what about you?
I appreciate now that because like throughout all of these years I know what are the styles that I like and like what my personal preferences are for nails, like what my personal style is. And I appreciate that because I spent a lot of time like staying in my bubble per se and like working on those things that you want. I feel like I can within those styles and even other things like I will like create a vision, or if someone's trying to describe to me like what their nails are, I feel like I can deliver that.
Yeah.
But that's only came through like a lot of practicing and really like honing in on like, if this is like the technique that you're struggling with, like stay on that until you feel more confident. So I feel like I appreciate now that I did that. So I know what like where I'm at, and I appreciate being able to like confidently deliver something, just
Yeah.
kind of like having that like proud sense of yourself where it's like, yeah, I can definitely do that.
Word.
Yeah, definitely. And so I also I'm gonna add too. So I also appreciate how I don't feel pressured to go outside of my nail style. Just kind of how I was saying, where don't overpromise anything.
Yeah.
I feel like really comfortable in like my clientele base and like the styles that I get and like kind of like what my niche is of nails. But again, that only comes after like a certain amount of time and like finding those people and like aligning with like the right clients and like aspiring to like that vision that you have. So I appreciate that now too.
So next, we're kind of gonna move on to what is something that every nail tech has a wish list, has things they want, things they
Yes.
aspire to have, in the long run. And on my shopping list as a nail tech is I would really love a moon lamp. I want one of those lamps that fully go around, and when you put your hand in, you can literally see everything. Like Lampy is good right now. Lampy is doing great, but she's just lacking in some areas. And that's fine. But that is one thing I want. And then another thing that I really, really want is a display wall of, like have maybe client pictures up
Yeah.
or like displays of practice sets that I'm, really proud of that I
Yeah.
do, that just on a wall that looks really
Like your own
nice.
little nail art gallery.
Yes, yes. And
It
be like,
would be
come,
so cute.
come see.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that would be cute.
definitely. Cause it's funny, like when you do practice nails or you do practice sets, it's like I don't want it to just live in the box, right? You want someone to
Exactly.
see it.
Yes. Be like, look what I did yesterday.
So on my shopping wish list, what just made it to the top of my shopping wish list is I need a new LED lamp because the one that I have two, and I have one that's new from like I've had it for like a year, and the other one I've had for like 2 years. She's been riding with me heavy, but now all of the light bulbs on the side of where the thumb is are out. Like it's just they're all out.
Yeah.
And you already know what I'm gonna say. It's been a nightmare trying to like get that thumb to get cured or having to do it separate or whatever the case. It's so frustrating. That little edge of the corner that never wants to get dry. So I need a new nail lamp. And then the other thing on my wish list is I want to experiment with some more drill bits.
Ooh, okay.
I've had the same drill bits for a while and slowly I've been replacing them. I have some drill bits that are just for like debulking right when you're doing soak offs. Different grits or whatever, but I feel like there's just so many different creative other types of drill bits that I want to try, like 5-in-1s.
Yes.
Or have you ever seen like super long like length drill bits for like long nails?
No, I haven't actually.
So it's like a tornado size drill bit, but
Uh-huh.
it's like double the size. It's
Oh,
like
like
double the length of it.
Oh.
Like not the bar of it, but the actual size of the drill bit
It's
is like
just super
double.
long.
Yeah, for like when you do
Oh,
long nails,
okay.
and you can cover more area of the nail with that.
Yeah.
So I want to try to get one of those. And I don't know if you've ever, if you have a half size mandrel bit, like the skinny mandrels. Have you seen them though?
Oh, yes, 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 yes. I actually just bought.
You just bought
Yeah,
one?
I just bought some, and I don't know. I kind of don't like them.
Why?
I feel like I don't know if something about them just feels harsh. Like I got the lowest grit, or the highest grit. I got the highest grit I could possibly get, so it's not like it's very thin.
Okay.
And the setting is on the lowest setting on my drill, but it just feels harsh when I put it over my fingers.
Interesting.
And I don't know if that's just like the brand that I bought that's like that. Because when I use the bigger size ones, it doesn't like, you can barely feel it when it goes over your finger.
I see what you mean because it's almost like smaller, so it has more power.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like it though.
Really?
I would say maybe experiment more with it because I don't use them on myself. What I use them for are people who have small nail beds.
Okay.
Like it is beautiful for that because when you use the big ones, you can't really get in the nooks and the crannies as good. And I also feel like because it's so big, sometimes I can risk like over filing on a small nail bed if I have this fat
and you can't,
sanding band.
It's like covering the whole nail.
Exactly. But with the small ones, I can really get in there really good. And I literally just ordered 2 more. Like, that's how much I really like it.
Word. I think I gotta...
Maybe just experiment. I mean, you said you got the highest grit, because I would say maybe just experiment with the actual bands that you're getting. But I feel like it's really, like, beneficial. I have a lot of, like, nail biters, people with small nails, and it's just, like, really good to get, like, deep in there. I will
admit that is good for that, because it's skinny.
Yeah.
So it's, like, real easy to get through the nooks and crannies.
But yeah, I just want to experiment by getting some more like drill bits, just trying them out. For sure.
So yeah, beginner nail techs, experienced nail techs, Let us know what is on your wish
Like
list.
we know you have one, so
Yes, because we know it's all, tucked away somewhere that y'all just never looked at after you wrote it out. So make sure you let us know what's on your wish list. Tell us things you wish you knew when you were starting out. Beginners, you
yes.
can tell us, things you wish you know now that, that you would like to know.
Yep, so you can share it with us.
And make sure to leave those anonymous stories on our website, so that, we would love to hear your experiences with brand ambassadors, policy, all of it
Yes, definitely.
right there. So now, what I would like for you guys to do is to take your right hand and your left hand and put them together because we're at the end of the show.
Aww.
Aw, boo-hoo.
I know, but we, like Pi was saying, we love to hear from you guys. So make sure you connect with us on all our socials. Make sure to leave us a comment here on YouTube, and we'll also have our socials here on the screen and the description box below. Like you can just get us everywhere. And also make sure to check out our first and second episodes if you haven't already. And our next episode is actually going to be about nail products, as we were just saying.
Yes.
And we'll be debunking some misconceptions about different nail products as well. So make sure to subscribe and make sure to smash that like button. And thanks for watching. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Peyton.
And this is Behind the Brush Podcast.